Hello, babies. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? I hope that you're good. I am good. So, I mean, sometimes I just be sitting back and like, I don't know how I do everything that I do, but I do know how I do everything I do because, as many of you like to call me, I'm weird, and weird means supernatural. So that's how I be doing it. So I got another one for you. That's right, another one. Okay? The main thing about this channel, when God is giving through it, you do know you're going to eat daily. You do know that. Okay? Okay. All right. So this is about my living ancestor, Enoch. Okay? So let us get into it. So Enoch was transformed. He was transformed into an angel whose name is known as Metatron. But that isn't his authentic angelic name. It's a Greek name that was given to him to help describe his transformation. Meta means beyond or beside, and tron means throne. So it's a depiction of how he is beside God's throne. You see this in his book. He tells you that when he was called up, he was told to sit and scribe. So Metatron is a title, but it's not his real name. It's not his name that he was known when he was on the earth. He has several names and titles. We on this channel, and when I say we, I mean me and the angels, we have covered the many titles given to the same thing, same person, or same place. I myself have many titles. Some of you know me by one name, and others of you know me by another. When you met me at that time, I was in one specific transformation, and those of you that have met me at another time, I am in another transformation. However, they're all the same me. Okay? How many names do you have? I would think, before I answered that, oh, I only have one name. No, are you sure about that? You sure? You sure? Okay, well, if you're the part of the one name crew, you can't hang out with us. You can't sit here. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I just love saying that from Forrest Gump. Like, that little girl was so mean. She was so mean to Forrest Gump. And me and my friend, when that movie came out, we would say that to each other and like just bust out laughing because we knew that like we were assigned to sit by each other. So whoever got to class first would tell the other, you can't sit here. You can't see here. Little mean butt girl. But guess what? Forrest went and he sat beside the love of his life, known as Jenny, who also was mean, but for different reasons. Jenny had issues. Jenny, I may not be a smart man, but I know what love is. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And most boxes of chocolate are full of, some are full of nuts. Anyways, that's just a little angelic humor there for y'all to warm you up. Okay, so Where was I? Oh, yes. So Metatron is a title, but it's not his real name. It is protection for him being an angel, so that what we talked about yesterday about how they were calling upon the names of the angels. They were invoking the angels and manipulating the angels and using the divine language of creation in a horrible way. Okay, so you're given the name Metatron, but just know that's a title. All right, so, oh yes, so these are my notes. God just gave this to me, like literally, and I just was like, that's my sound for typing, I guess. I guess that's better. So I was like typing away, so I have to like stop and actually read it and be like, what? Okay, so I know many are obsessed with knowing God's real name. And my angels and I, we giggle about this all the time. How they will have debates over this is the name, or that is the name, or that name doesn't matter. And my angels always say, why do they need to know? Why aren't they happy with what was given to them? And I always ask people like that I have conversations with, I ask them this one question, the same as the angels. What do you want to know? You really need to look at the intent behind this driving force of wanting to know the name of God. In the ancient world, there's a story that talks about how one of the angels, he liked this girl, and so she kept asking him for the infallible name of God, and finally she wore him down and he gave it to her. However, when she spoke it, she was blown right off the face of the earth and into the heavens and became a star. So, be careful what you wish for. So the angel that wrestled with Jacob, he told him what when Jacob asked his name? Go and read that story. It's very interesting. He basically told him, I will not tell you my name. Or as another angel said to a couple, my name is too perfect for you to know. The angels do not give their names freely unless they are told by God to give them. And then I reflected upon my angels and our relationship, and I said, I don't even call my angels names. I don't. And I know of them, I know their names, but I don't say them. We've had the conversation where they've told me who they were, and that's not what I focus on. I say, oh, okay, and we keep it moving. And they don't really say my name either. We just know each other on a level where names don't really matter. And maybe it's just my innate respect because of the office that I hold. I already know that I should not abuse their names. How we know things without knowing them, but we know them. And then I said, oh my goodness, I just realized something. I love to play Dungeons and Dragons, you guys know this. And one of my character names for the game is Meta. Yes. Some of you listening, you know Meta. You love Meta. I just was laughing because I just thought about something, and I heard one of my fellow gamesmen, they love to tease me about centaurs. And some of them listen to my channel, so I hope that you got a smile today and that you laughed really hard about Meta's centaurs. Shh, don't tell anybody. All right. So I picked the name based off of metamorphosis. So it was kind of like a nickname for metamorphosis. And I wanted to change the channel name to Metamorphosis Experience 77, but it didn't work out that way, so we just kept May Rain 77 Experience. But now I'm seeing that it's a nod, a soul nod to my living ancestor, Enoch, Meta, beside, okay? That's cool, right? So many talk about translated bodies, and they act as if we have no records of what those bodies will be. Like, they say, oh, well, they're perfected bodies, or, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, nobody ever gives a really good example of what it means to be translated, but we're all supposed to get really excited about being translated, which I'm not saying don't be. But God doesn't want his people ignorant anymore. So, your translated body will be like the one you have now, just with angelic upgrades. When it says he made man a little lower than the angels, it's talking about our design. In ways, we outrank them, meaning because we hold the Spirit of God within us. God breathed his Spirit into us. And those of us that come into the kingdom of God and the family of God, and we are sons and daughters of God, we outrank them because we have his Spirit. They don't have his Spirit in them. He did not breathe his Spirit into them, so we outrank them in that way. And in other ways, they have higher or better bodies than us. So in the book of Jasher or the book of Jubilees, I can't remember which one it is, we are told that the male angels, they already come circumcised. That is a part of their design. So when God took Abraham as his own, he told him about circumcision. And I think it's so important for men to be circumcised. Okay? Please, it's 2024. Get circumcised. Okay? And I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, I wrote out some more notes, but that's between me and my angels. But I will share this. I know for a fact that my husband is circumcised because it's what I ordered. So don't bring... Anyways, you know what? Yes, you're right. I said enough. All right. Okay. Yep. All right. Yep. All right. Yeah. So, anyways, so back to the translated body. My living ancestor, Enoch, was translated. He is what believers should look to, as well as Elijah, as to what our translated bodies will be like. We will become like the angels, having the upgrades within our bodies and being perfected. And we will also have the Spirit of God in us as well. He's not going to take that away from the children of Adam. It's a part of our blueprint. So Enoch tells of his transformation in his book about when he went to heaven. They said that he smelled bad, not good. And so he was given new garments and an ointment to put on to take away his smell. And then I said, have you ever smelled God? Like, have any of you ever been in worship and the presence of God comes and there's this beautiful aroma with it? I have experienced that. Doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes you can smell heaven and you can smell the presence of God. That's one of the clairs, by the way, if you're interested. Okay, yes, I just heard somebody say, well, what do you mean a clair? Well, like clairaudient, clairsentient, there's 5 of them. They're called the clairs, 5 clairs, of people that are gifted spiritually. They can pick up the spirit realm with the senses. Okay, so if you're interested in that, check it out. It smells so good. Everything is better there. And they have bodies like our bodies as well, meaning they look like us, or we look like them. I always say, like, somebody will ask me, like, what do the angels look like? And I'm like, well, it depends on how they are appearing, but most of the time they look like man. Because how do we know this? There's many instances in the Word of God where they look just like men. And how can you entertain them unaware if they look like anything else? Of course, in visions, they can have a different form. But most of the time they look like men. Okay? So when you read about God and the 2 angels going to visit Abraham, they ate the food that Abraham made. And in the book of Jashers or Jubilee, it tells you that they look like men. Also, it tells you that in many old ancient texts, they look like men. How else do you entertain them unaware? So they all have working parts, okay? There is eating in heaven. Because we know this, because God gave the children of Israel manna. That is what angels eat. And there is supernatural power to the manna of heaven. Everything from heaven adds life and supernatural properties to those on the earth who partake. Okay, and then I said, speaking of Elijah, an angel cooked him food. And the angel gave him the food. And the food gave him the power and strength to outrun earthly chariots. You guys should read that story. It's a very beautiful story. I loved that story as a child. And I always would ask my angels at that time. I would say, I want an angel cake. And then I remember somebody brought like a strawberry shortcake, but it was made like with angel cake. And I tasted it and I was like, ew, because I don't like angel cake. You know what I mean? But what the angel prepared for Elijah was a cake. He woke up and the angel was cooking. And then I was sitting here and I was thinking, and my angels, they just kind of laughed. Now, they do help me with my grocery shopping. They tell me what to buy and what not to buy. And they help me with recipes as well as when to eat what things and where to shop. But I kind of, they knew my thoughts, and I was like, which one of y'all is going to start cooking around here? Honestly, they know that I'm not ready for that. Like, if I woke up one morning, came downstairs, and I had, like breakfast prepared, I don't know. Am I ready for that? I don't know. I might start after praying for an Elijah moment. Not running from Jezebel, but, can one of y'all make me a cake, a little cake? That would be great. I would totally eat it. I would. I would. When I get to heaven, I'll cook for you, okay? Because, God says that we can't make altars and stuff to you guys, so that's how come I can't say that, oh, I'll make you food. Or, hey, how about we meet on the street and we share a meal together? That would be cool. Yeah. Entertain angels unaware. Okay, sorry, that was an angel moment. Let me get back to my notes. I have fun with my angels. Hopefully you guys, you start having relationships with your angels, because everybody has them. And some of y'all angels is just bored. They're just like, because you never talk to them, you never ask them to help you with your assignment. you don't use them ever. So they're just like, man. Okay. But over here, I have relationships with them like I have with my friends, every day. It's a daily thing. Sit down, please. Thank you, monkey. Thank you. Thank you, monkey. You're so cute. You want to tell them about the angels? You know them. They know you, too. They love you so much. They take care of you when I'm not here. I know. I know they do. Yes, they do. You see them. Mm-hmm. All right. Animals can see them. Okay, so Enoch's father was Jared, and during his day the angels came down and began to take wives. Stop. 1 second. My puppy is getting into my incense. No. Which is funny because that incense is called Celestial Bliss. And we both love it, me and her. I love it. Oh, I love it. If you ever get a chance to smell Celestial Bliss, smell it and think of me. Okay? I'm obsessed with that one. And I have others, but that one's my favorite right now. Anyways, maybe she was like, hey, talking of angels, let's burn some incense. I'm like, no, not right now. All right, so Enoch's father was Jared, and yeah, I said that already. So they began to take wives, and Enoch was born to Jared. So I love the story of Enoch's birth, and you should go and read that for yourself, okay? So Enoch didn't die, he was taken, and he testified against the angels, just like the elect of God will do. When it says that will we not judge the angels? That's speaking of the elect of God. And yes, we will judge the angels. All right, so there is I have to call it a myth because I can't find any hardcore proof, but by faith, I know that there's substance there. So take it that way, okay? So Adam had the highest soul from God. When God breathed into his nostrils after they ate the fruit, they lost the highest soul, the immortal one. They lost the immortal soul. So God told them, if you eat from the tree, you will become mortal. Surely you will die. Because before they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, there was no death. Not for them. So they had immortality before they got tricked out of their birthright. To rule earth and to be in communion with God with no barriers. I mean, can you imagine having open relationships with angels who are our big brothers and sisters and being in the kingdom of God and just living that every day? There's no sin, there's no death, there's no sadness. There's nothing but love and God's light and good food and good technology. And, I can't wait. I can't wait. So, there was so much that was lost. So much that was lost. But God is giving it back only because they were tricked. The difference is that Adam and Eve were tricked. The other willfully rebelled. That's why for him and his kind there is no redemption. Enoch was given the soul of immortality. And I know from reading his book that he was allowed to go in the garden and he was taught by the angels. And he was allowed to go in the garden after the flaming sword was put there because God told the angels to take him in there and to teach him. And I said, he probably could have eaten from the tree of life, But we do know when he comes back that he will die, him and Elijah, but after 3 days they will be raised and ascend again. So many talk about enlightenment and attaining a high consciousness, and they even call it Christ consciousness. But without Christ, you don't obtain anything. Jesus is the only portal to the highest God, and no one can enter except through him. Okay, so real quick, in Revelations, it talks about how we will be given a name upon a white stone, and only us and God will know what the name is. And I said, wait a minute. I said, so we will be given a white crystal with our new name on it. And then I just laughed. I just laughed. And I said, Lord, some of your children won't even go into a crystal shop. If they make it to heaven, they gonna pass out when you hand them a crystal with their name on it. But they just didn't read the fine print, that's all. So that's found in Revelations 2:7. We will be given the hidden manna and a stone to those who overcome this world. So Enoch wrote many books, hundreds of them. And I believe many of those books are lost, but they will be found, because as in the days of Noah, so shall it be. And as in the days of Noah, those books were freely given, and all knew about them. Enoch is called many names. One of his titles is the youth, and that is because he was only 365 years old when he was translated. And so the angels lovingly called him the youth because they, in age, they're immortal. So to them, he is a baby. Proverbs 22:6 speaks about how to educate every child according to his way. Enoch's name means education. He was the first teacher. The angels taught Enoch just like they teach me, and they will teach you if you have the Holy Spirit and they are told by God to do so. David wrote in the Psalms, I have been young and I have been old. I have never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. Could David have borrowed this from our living ancestor, Enoch? When Solomon asked God for wisdom, and God granted him that, before Solomon, there was Enoch. When you read the book of Enoch and you read about Solomon's knowledge and Solomon's life, you know that Solomon had the many books of Enoch. So if you read the book of Enoch, he tells you everything himself. He's very honest and forthright and direct. So one of the things that should be listed in the list of the things that the fallen ones brought to man was that Azazel started human trafficking and the selling of bodies for sex. So prostitution. So God made Enoch a throne. You know how there's the list of the powers, principalities, thrones. So God made Enoch a throne and gave him the name of Little God. And he placed him over all the angels. And this is interesting. I don't know how to take this just yet, but we'll go with it. According to some traditions, Exodus 23, 20 through 21 speaks about Enoch. And it reads, I am sending a messenger before you to guard you on the way and bring you to the place I have made ready. Pay heed to him and obey him. Do not defy him, for he will not pardon your offenses, since my name is in him. This angel may have been Enoch. I went to Strong's Concordance, and all I got was a deputy, a messenger, a prophet, a priest, a teacher, an ambassador, a king, and an angel. And Enoch does tell you his angelic name in his writings. The interesting about his angelic name is that the composition of it matches the name of Elijah. They have the same name. They both were translated, and they are the two witnesses that are spoken about in Revelations that will come back and proclaim the teachings that they proclaimed when they were upon the earth. And we will stop there, and if there is more, I will be back. And if not, may we meet in heaven. I'm stretching. All right. I will see you guys later. Have a good day. Have a good night. And yeah, take care of yourself. Later, guys.